Hello everyone, welcome to ZNZ Classroom. I'm Mary, and in this episode, we're going to be learning about the last concept of this topic, which is union and intersection. So before getting deep into that, I'm going to introduce you guys with a small concept here, which is infinite intervals. So you guys probably already knew this before, but this symbol right here means infinity, which infinity would mean goes forever. And how would you represent this on a graph? How would you represent infinity on a graph? You are using an arrow. So I'm going to give you guys two examples, one with positive infinity, one with negative infinity. So the first one, I'm going to give you an interval of negative infinity 4. So when I'm drawing a number line, I will draw the 4 right here. And I'm going to draw a closed circle on 4 because of the square bracket. And then I'm going to have an arrow going to the left. The arrow is going to the left is because that it's negative infinity, which all the numbers on the left of the number line are smaller than the numbers on the right. So my arrow should go to the left, which is a smaller side. Something to notice here, which is very important, is that either for both negative infinity and infinity, it has to be parentheses. It couldn't be square bracket. So I'm going to show you the other example, which is for infinity. I'm going to draw the same number line here. Sorry. And I'm going to label the 4. And here is a closed circle. And this time it goes to the right because of the positive infinity. And still notice here, it should be parentheses. Okay, so that will be two examples of infinities. And now we are going to go to the main topic, which is union and intersection. For union and intersection, I'm going to split it into 3 problem types. First one would be the same direction. So same direction. I'm going to give you guys 2 examples and you will know that. Oh, before I'm giving you examples, I'm going to introduce you guys with union and intersection. So for union, the symbol is U, a capitalized U, it looks like a capitalized U, and it means or. And for intersection, the symbol is a flipped U and means and. Okay, so now we can go to the examples. For same direction, what I mean by that is that we will have 2 arrows on the graph that goes to the same direction. So an example of that would be x greater than 4, or, I would say or first, x greater than 8. And versus x greater than 4 and x greater than 8. So the final product, I'm going to all write in interval notation, but here I'm gonna draw the graph first. So here is a number line. And I'm going to label, if I say this is 4, and I would say maybe here is 8. So since it's greater than, it's an open circle, and I will draw 2 lines. One is 8, it goes to the right because x greater than 8 means all the x greater than 8, which goes to the right. So goes to the right. And I'm gonna change a color. And x greater than 4 would mean still goes to the right because it's greater than. So because of this is or right here, you would choose a larger range as your answer, which larger range means it includes more numbers, which is the x greater than 4 range. Okay, so that will be your answer. The x greater than 4 range will be your answer because it's a larger range. So my answer here, written in interval notation, will be 4 infinity. Okay, come back to this infinite interval. It's a 4 with open circle here is 4, goes to the right infinitely because of the arrow. So it's 4 infinity. Okay, now it comes to the end here. So for end, I'm going to keep having this number line to label 4 and 8. So for 8, I'm still gonna draw with this, right? That will be the same. And 4, gonna draw like that. So until this step is the same. Sorry, the zoom is kind of slow. So until this step, it's the same. But for the answer, it's different because it's not a larger range anymore. It's a smaller range, which is right here. It's a smaller range, okay? For n, it's a smaller range when it goes same direction. So my final answer would just be 8 infinity. So something to explain this small range thing is that since it's intersection, you need to know where it intersects, which is the smaller part. And in this part, like the part between 4 and 8, they don't even intersect. So you don't need to consider that, right? Okay, after this example, I'm going to say opposite direction now. Opposite direction. And I'm going to split two things for opposite direction. The first type is in, okay? So what do I mean by that? First type is in. When in, I mean two arrows goes together. They go intersect. So I'm going to have, still I'm going to have the examples. So here is, I will have x plus 4 or x minus, sorry, x plus 4, x minus, x greater than 4 or x less than 8. So I'm gonna draw the number line here. Okay. And same thing here, I'm gonna label 4. Here I'm gonna label 8. So in this time, the 8, since it's x less than 8, the arrow will goes to the left. Okay. But the 4 is still the same, goes to the right. So it kind of intersect, but it's fine. Kind of overlap, but it's fine. So we're in here for or, just notice it's everything. So if it's everything, it's all of these, everything. So my answer would just be negative infinity, infinity, because it's everything, okay? And then for the n example, the n example would just be x greater than 4 and x less than 8. So I'm gonna still draw a number line here. And here's my 4, here's my 8. For 8, it's still this blue one, goes to the left because of the less than. And then the purple one for the 4 goes to the right. Okay. So now it's very clear that because I draw an overlap, so it's very clear that the intersection is in the middle. It's in the middle. So I'm gonna say the answer is 4, 8, right? Something to notice here is that for this inequality, you wouldn't really see it this way. Usually people would just write it as 4 less than x less than 8. There is rarely people write it separately. So usually you would just see this combined form. Okay, so there's something to notice here. And lastly, the last type is opposite direction, but out. So out, right? So what I mean by that, let me give you the example. So it would be x less than 4 or x greater than 8. So on a graph, it will look like this. Here I still have this number line. Here I will have the 4 and the 8 labeled. And for 4, this purple will go to the left this time because of the lesson. Because of the lesson, it goes to the left. And my 8 will go to the right because of the greater than. So because of the or, you will see that it's everything that like with the arrows. So like it will be this part and this part. So how will we write the interval? This will be the time that you use the union symbol in your interval. So which is negative infinity to 4 and union 8 infinity. So still keep in mind from like, I think the first episode or the second episode, we talk about that it's from smallest to greatest. So it would be the best that you wrote negative infinity first, then write the positive infinity. So negative infinity for union 8 infinity. So this will be your answer. And for and, what will be your answer? Versus x less than 4 and x greater than 8. So still, the number line is here. And 4 and 8. So for the blue one, goes to the right. For the purple one, goes to the left. So because of and you're finding intersections, but you will quickly find that there isn't intersections anywhere in this graph. So the answer would just be no solution. Okay, just be no solution. Okay, so that's all for this episode. And it might seem easy when you first, or it might seem confusing. It depends, but please practice more. And in the in the 6th and 7th episode or later, we're going to be having practice problems episode, which you should, I recommend, highly recommend you watch these and do some practice on your own. That way you can get familiarized with these problem types and you will know just really quick next time when you see the problem what the answer is. So, and sometimes these inequalities will get not confusing, but like they don't directly tell you it's greater than 4. They will let you solve it. So you will see that these examples in the practice problems episode. And thank you so much for watching today. And if you have any questions, just comment below and I will answer them as soon as possible. And thank you.